What did you have for dinner last night? Seems like a simple question that you wouldn't have trouble answering, unless you're one of the 34 million people who are affected by food insecurity, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Then you may not even know where your next meal will come from. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, a federal assistance program in the United States, defines food insecurity as a household level economic and social condition of limited or uncertain access to adequate food. This definition emphasizes that food insecurity is not only about the lack of food, but also encompasses the economic and social circumstances that contribute to limited or uncertain access to sufficient, nutritious food for all members of a household. It recognizes that food insecurity is a multi layered issue influenced by various factors, including income, employment, and access to affordable and nutritious food options. The consequences of food insecurity are far reaching. It affects individuals' physical health, educational attainment, and economic productivity. Food insecurity is a multi layered problem that goes beyond mere hunger. It encompasses a range of challenges, including limited access to nutritious food, insufficient income to afford an adequate diet, and an absence of reliable food sources within communities. It's a complex web of circumstances that traps countless people in a cycle of vulnerability. First and foremost, a person's health is the number one attribute affected by food insecurity. Inadequate nutrition due to food insecurity can lead to a weakened immune system, making individuals more susceptible to infections and diseases. Chronic conditions such as anemia, osteoporosis, and cardiovascular problems can arise from a lack of key nutrients like iron, calcium, and healthy fats. According to the article Food Insecurity in the Gale Opposing Viewpoints online collection, poor nutrition and increased obesity rates are also linked to food insecurity in the United States. The cost of fresh, healthy food leads people who are facing food insecurity the inability to purchase it. This is where the term food deserts come into play, a term that should be known by everyone. A food desert is an area that has a lack of access to healthy and nutritious food. As deemed in the article, what role do local grocery stores play in urban food environments? This article dives into how the access people have to food, the quality of the food, and the sustainability of the stores is connected to the health issues we are seeing amongst those who live in or near these food deserts. While physical health issues can be seen, it is the unseen that many children who face food insecurity have to worry about. A study published in the Journal of Family Psychology looked at the outcomes of children facing food insecurity and their mental health. Those children who face food insecurity are more likely to face housing insecurity, depression, and anxiety symptoms. While there are other contributing factors to mental health, the toll of food insecurity can be seen down the road not only on the children but their families as a whole. Have you ever found yourself trying to complete a task on an empty stomach? Were you able to concentrate? Was your mind able to push the food noise out to stay focused? Or were you only able to focus on the noises your stomach were making or the pounding in your head? Now imagine you are a child attempting to take an important test, but you haven't eaten since lunch at school yesterday. Can you imagine the feeling of stress or disappointment the child might be feeling? When a child's basic needs are not being met, how are they expected to succeed in the world around them? It is not hard to see why facing food insecurities can lead to a decline in a child's ability to perform academically. If a child's academic world is being affected, you can see a direct connection to this creating a disadvantage to their working career. An adult who is lacking a nutritious, adequate diet may not be able to perform at their highest abilities. Poor nutrition can lead to impaired cognitive function, reduced physical energy, an increase in illness, which can also lead to more missed days at work, and can affect your performance at your job. Food insecurity can affect whole communities with a negative impact on their economic outcome. As you eat dinner tonight or have a late night snack, you may be wondering what in the world can you do about food insecurity? It seems like an overwhelming task for one person to take on, especially if you're one of the millions who are suffering. While this might seem like an impossible task, there are things we can do to help fight food insecurity, even if we aren't facing it ourselves. Supporting local food banks or food pantries by donating food or your time as a volunteer You can get involved in the advocacy for food insecurity by supporting policies that would promote access to healthy, nutritious food for all. Supporting local farmers and food producers is another fairly simple way to combat food insecurity by helping reduce our reliance on long distance food transportation. There is not one simple solution to this worldwide issue, but we must take action now. We can take steps in the right direction. Making small corrections can lead to bigger and better things for our communities. I'd like to leave you with a quote from David Nasby, an executive from General Mills Foundation. America is the richest country in the world, and yet tonight, thousands of your neighbors will go to bed hungry. It may be your child's schoolmate who is undernourished and has difficulty learning on an empty stomach. Or it could be a coworker, a working mother whose low-wage job doesn't make ends meet. Perhaps it is an elderly neighbor who has to make a decision whether to delay filling a prescription or buying groceries. The faces of hunger are as broad as the faces of America.